Alrighty, we're live. So this is week 2 of our July coaching, which I'm super proud of you guys for showing up. Everything's recorded, so I know some people have to catch the recording because they work during the day. But I have gleaned so much from being in Brooke's coaching course since December, and it's added so much value to me, and I've prioritized a lot of her work with me power hours. I've prioritized getting on her webinars. Some of them I have had to catch as a recording, which is fine. But just being in a coaching community where you're gleaning perspective and you have the ability to recognize your own limiting beliefs or mindsets or skill set and make tiny little pivots. So it's not that one coaching call or one mentorship Zoom is going to make or break you, but it's the consistency of putting yourself in position to learn. It's kind of like why we go to church, right? We're putting ourselves in a position to hear God's word, to have our mindset renewed, and to gain perspective, right? And I think also the fellowship in the community that, church brings to us, obviously, helps renew our mind, helps us get perspective, encourages us to keep going. And so I'm just really proud of you guys for investing in your businesses by putting yourselves in a position to learn. And it's encouraging to me that there's people that find value in this, so yay for that. And I feel like also when I'm committed to the learning process, that I am at the top of my game when I do that, because it's on my brain. It's not, I'm basically filling up to pour out to more people, right? And so the fact that you guys are on here gleaning, you're getting some perspective, you're learning more of the skill set. Like each of these calls honestly stands alone, but they also build on each other also. So feel free to go back and catch any that you've missed. We've actually been doing this since March. And so I feel like it's been really good for me to be just sharing things that I'm learning. And we're talking about different aspects and topics that are pertinent to our business, but also, I think that the more that I teach it, the better I become at doing the things, right? And so anyways, all that to say, proud of you guys for being on. So make sure if you have people that are working the business or they want to rank up or they want to earn Leaders Retreat, please make sure they're plugged into the Momentum group. And you might even simplify it for them and just say, hey, there's opportunities to plug in. Don't let it be overwhelming to you, but there's daily little checklists that you can make sure that you're doing. Okay, this is the crux of this business. And then all you have to remember is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Those are like the plexus days. Each morning, there's a power hour you can plug into. Don't feel guilty if you can't get on all of them all the time live. It's okay, but there's opportunities for you to be learning from people. If you say, hey, I'm able to prioritize the time and I'm penciling those in because those are going to be my work times, fabulous, okay? I will say that on Wednesday, it's actually like a lunchtime power hour with our new emeralds. So if you're able to pop on at that time and that's better for you, that's great. Or if early morning's best, those are Tuesday, Thursdays. And then each evening on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this month, we are doing Zooms, okay? So Tuesdays, Amy did Wheelhouse of Plexus. Last night was Angie and Lisa talking about how to start your products and just basically like a new ambassador orientation. And then tonight is about the business. And that's what Justin and I, just me 20, 30 minutes. We're just gonna be sharing our story, kind of giving people the basic gist of what this business is, what Plexus, what it means, what it looks like to work a business like this, and answer questions and things like that. And so we're doing that every week this month. We're going to try it, see how it goes. But the benefit to this is there's always something to plug your people into, always something to be inviting people to, and it's live. So it's face-to-face as much as we can be face-to-face right now. And we want to encourage everyone to utilize those and take advantage of those. So a couple things that we were going to chat about today on this call. I'm going to go over chapter 3 in this amazing little book by Anthony Powell, who is a network marketing legend. And it's about the law of discipline. So we're going to talk about that really quick. I know last week we had some questions about how to lead with the business. And so I had jotted down some notes on my thoughts with how to lead with the business. If you have specifics about what your questions were in light of that, can you just put them in the chat thread and we can get to those? Or if you have other questions that you want answered, we'll either field them on this call or we'll make that some topics for next week. And then we're going to wrap up with talking about Leaders Retreat. So how to earn it, what it looks like, and field any questions that you guys have specifically about Leaders Retreat. So, all right. So this is a story form. If you haven't been plugging into the last couple of coaching calls, we've been talking about the 7 laws of network marketing. So the first law was basically about the law of sowing and reaping, and it used that passage in Matthew about the different soil. If you're not familiar with that, you can go check it out. Then last week was about the law of attraction, and then this week is about the law of discipline. And so it's basically written in story form where this guy is mentoring this mentoree. But the law of discipline, there's just a couple things that I wanted to highlight out of this chapter because I thought it was so good. So here you go. The law of discipline. The only way to get a spectacular vision is through the tunnel of the mundane. Day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, discipline. And so the guy had come back from a trip and he asked the mentoree, like, hey, how did it go the past couple of weeks? And the guy's like, not very well. And he's like, well, how many people did you reach out to? And he was like, well, like 8 or 9. And he's like, okay, well, it's time to talk about the law of discipline. And so he goes and he actually quotes Jim Rohn that says, everyone must experience one of 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And he said discipline is painful. And he said it's actually more fun to eat ice cream and go sit on the couch than hit the gym, right? It's more fun to spend your money than save it. So he's kind of giving him perspective here. But he said discipline is a pain, but the result, what it produces is joy and success, or joy of success. And he said, so what is the relation to regret? And he said, well, you have to choose one or the other, discipline or regret. But the difference is, just what Jim Rohn said, is that discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. And so, how many millions of people don't discipline themselves and let time pass until they have no time left? And he said, success always comes through discipline. And he uses the example of the baseball player. He's like, you don't just walk onto a baseball field and swat a 95-mile-an-hour pitch into the grandstands. That comes from discipline. Successful investors become successful by studying the market daily for years. Their discipline allows them to make wise decisions based on experience. People that are in excellent physical conditions are the ones who discipline themselves every day to eat right and exercise their bodies. So it's like in the tiny little daily choices that we make, that's where the discipline happens. Is we're choosing one thing over another. There is good, better, best, or best, not so great, and worst, right? So in terms of decisions. And he said, so for you, Keller, and that's the guy he's mentoring, it all comes down to discipline. Will you be disciplined? Discipline happens because you make it happen. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You decide what your circumstances are. And so I thought it was really interesting because he gave the perspective that there was a lady that he asked, what would you do if your company took away your multi-million-dollar a year business and you had to start over? What would you do? Any guesses on what she said? She said, I would fill my calendar with presentations. That's what she said. And I would follow up. The old saying is that the fortune is in the follow-up, but that is a discipline. Make a presentation and then put it in your calendar to follow up and don't miss it. This business is all about discipline. Each company has some people in it who are making millions, and they usually follow a system, so you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to discipline yourself to follow the proven systems. Mm-hmm. Anyways, this book is so profound and I'm really enjoying it, but I wanted to share those little truth bombs about discipline because I thought it was really, really good. Do you want to say anything about
which part?
Any of it?
No, I think sometimes we think that success is really difficult or it's really complicated, and I think that's part of the issue. And so don't overcomplicate things. Even in light of business, even in light of this business, don't overcomplicate things. A lot of it is just simply, it's doing the same thing over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so it comes down to, like he was talking about discipline. It also comes down to consistency. because people do pay attention to how consistent you either are or how consistent you are not, and that makes a big difference. So don't overcomplicate it. A lot of times, I can usually, when I coach somebody and they're not getting where they want to go, it takes me less than a few minutes to figure out what the problem is. And most of the time, it's a lack of discipline. And so it's like, well, I do my IPA each day. I reached out to 3 people today. Well, that's not going to get you too far quickly. It's going to take a lot. I mean, yeah, that's doing something, and that's better than doing nothing, yes. But reaching out to 3 people a day is probably not even going to keep your business afloat over time. So I think a lot of it just comes down to, it's as simple. The thing is, I think pretty well about everybody on this, as far as I know, everybody on this call knows what to do. Like if I called you on the phone, hey, well, tell me, do you know what to do? Yeah, I need to be posting. I need to be reaching out. I need to be following up. Well, are you doing it? No. Well, like the coaching call's over. Like there's not.
But you have coaching calls like that.
I have that. Yeah, I do. I'm not mad at the person or upset with them because I get it. I'm guilty, right? So we know what to do.
But
what are you doing?
But people have made changes, and they've really amped up their activity after the coaching call. And I think it was maybe that you just shot it straight with them. Like, well, the reason you're not seeing more results is because you're not doing the things. Like you have the knowledge, or you're thinking about it.
And the thing is, we all pretty well know, if we just did what we knew to do, we would be farther than what we are now. Mm-hmm. So not that we can't learn along the way, not that we can't grow, not that we can't get more efficient or better at the way we communicate, whatever the issue is, better in how we post. But a lot of it is very simple, and it's just a matter of doing it daily. Mm-hmm. Like how many people have met with somebody face to face, some way or another, this week to talk about the products and or the business?
In person?
Yeah. Or on a Zoom. Okay, we have one. Yeah.
Put it in the comments if you have.
And I understand the whole coronavirus thing. Or whatever you call it now. I don't know what it's called this week, but whatever. I get all that. But I mean, right now we're face to face, and so we know what to do, and we need to move Facebook Messenger messages or text messages. We need to quickly move those from there to face somehow or another. There's a different, when I look at you, for you, those of you that have your camera on, I'm talking to you. Those who don't have your camera on, shame on you, because I don't even know if you're listening. So, but for those of you who are looking at, maybe if you're in the bathroom, leave it off. Okay. So, but there's a different connection. If I'm messaging you on Facebook Messenger, it doesn't have as great a connection as it does right now when I'm seeing your face, I'm looking in your eyes, or if we're having a cup of coffee, having a conversation. So that's the thing. We know we need to be reaching out. We know we need to be following up. But while you're doing that, try to move it to a face-to-face type of communication as quick as possible. And I think you'll see it's more effective.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this is something that I'll address really quickly too. And he was saying, like, just in light of the law of discipline, a lot of times we have in our mind, like, we have this subconscious thought, like, success is only for a few. Why is it only for a few? Well, is the few really the only ones that are actually disciplined? That's my question, right? Because when you learn, sometimes you hear people say, well, only a few actually make it in network marketing. It's like the people that started at the beginning, the ones that got in at the right time and all of that. I think the longer you work this business and the longer you're in it and the more perspectives you gain, you're like, you know what? Anyone can be successful in this. Yep. It's because most people are quitters. Most people aren't willing to do the things that it takes to go make it happen, right? Because we have fears that hold us back. We get lost in the busyness of life, or it just is not enough of a priority to actually stay committed to the daily actions. But it's kind of like Amy Booker always says, she has a t-shirt that says, "But did you die?" And it's like committing to the simple actions of following up. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Okay, let's acknowledge it. Let's put it out there. It's uncomfortable. And but it will become more comfortable to you as you do it, because you're acquiring the skill set, right? And we're learning that that's just the process that we have to follow in order to be successful. And it's like that 10,000 hours thing. Our friend Mark Bettinger said, to be a professional in anything, that you got to put in the hours. How many, professional pianist, professional baseball player, whatever, plug in the scenario, professional network marketer. Once you've logged your 10,000 hours, hey, you have a skill set, right? So anyways, okay, we don't want to beat a dead horse. So let's get disciplined. Let's work on that. Okay. And also I will say really quickly, when you raise the discipline in one area, it may be like you're going to commit to a quiet time, or you're going to commit to 3 days a week. You're going to meet your accountability partner and go on a walk around town. Right, Amanda? So whatever that discipline is for you, it's going to lift the float in every area. Maybe for you, it's going to be to quit the late night snacking or whatever. Even an eating habit discipline will lift the float in general. I don't know why it works like that, but it will. Same with when you get disciplined in your business. You're going to be more intentional about how you're spending your time, because you know what? Before I go to bed, I have to have done my IPA. I have to make it work. I have to make it happen. And so you're learning to lift the float, and it's a leadership thing, right? As you're doing this, as you're up leveling your posting, or you're getting better at your reach outs, or you're doing the things, you are lifting your leadership lid, because leadership is discipline. Okay, so let's talk about leading with the business. Who feels like they're not great at leading with the business? Or who feels like they're scared, or it's more uncomfortable to reach out and talk about the business?
Yeah, that would be the question I have, is who's afraid to reach out with the business? Yeah. So first off, in light of that, you're in good company, because I think that this business exposes a lot of fears in us. When you start, you're afraid that someone might call you a network marketer, or you're afraid to tell somebody about even the products, or you're afraid to post, and then you're afraid to do a live video, and then you're afraid to share about the business. It's like it just keeps, once you conquer one fear, it exposes another. So I get it. I was afraid to share the business at first. Not afraid, but I guess cautious. Why? Because fear of what people thought. I fear that people thought all I was after was their money, or just trying to sell them something, those things. So if that's where you are in light of the business, then I would say it's common. I don't know that there's nothing wrong with you. I've dealt with it, I've overcome it, and now I just share with anybody.
When did the shift happen for you, though? But were you diamond before you got comfortable sharing the business?
No, it was early on. I got over it, because I started to see that the people that were negative towards this and towards me with doing Plexus were just negative people. I don't really even hang out with those guys anymore, and it's good. I quit thinking. I don't know. I just got tired of being afraid. And I just started to share. I set my own goals. And I considered what they were saying, because I thought, well, am I just selling this stuff? Am I really trying to rip people off? Am I a scammy network marketer? And then I just had to ask myself those honest questions. And my conclusion was, no, I'm not any of those things. And these products have really helped my family. And this business has already really helped my family. So I want to help other people. But I had to ask myself those questions. Are these fears that I have, are they legitimate? Are they a figment of my imagination? Am I just building this thing up in my mind? And the truth was, I was. So
you went back to your why.
Yeah. I went back to my why, and I asked myself the question, are these things I'm afraid of, are they legitimate? And the answer was no, they're not. So, and those people, that was way back when, 5 years ago, when I jumped over that hurdle. But the people I was afraid of and their opinion back then still have, they're still negative. They're still, they're still not happy. They're still, where they were 5 years ago. So it was a good move for me, because if I would have let their opinion hold me back, wow, life would be so much different for me, and life would be so much different for probably thousands of people. So these things we have to, this fear of sharing the business is something that needs to be overcome. It's something that can be overcome. I guess that's the encouraging thing.
Well, and I think our perspectives are based on our own personal experience. So like for me, I started because of the products. I didn't start for a business. I wasn't Jessica Heffley. I kind of looked at her like, well, no wonder she's successful. She has a business degree. She was researching how to make money from home. They wanted out of their current situation. Like, of course, like she led with the business. Like that was reason why she started. I mean, I think that they had health reasons also, but that was also ruminating there when she began. And so it took me, I think almost 2 years. I think we were almost a Sapphire team, or maybe we were a Sapphire team before I had this mental shift. And every time you can make those shifts, and the quicker you can make those shifts and overcome those fears and just gain a bigger perspective of how and why and what to say or how to present it. I think for me, I was just like, I can't be Jessica Heffley. I can't go on and just be like loud and proud, oh my word, business, how much money I'm making. Like that would not appeal to my audience. So how do I present the business to people when the reason I started was for health? And so there's a couple of things there to take away. Yes, you can build a really solid team because the products work. And so, but if you only are product based or product driven, you probably will build a wholesale team. So you have to figure out how you're going to present the opportunity or the sharing part of it with your team or with your network, and why. And I think it goes back to your own why. But it was when Jessica Heffley did a training, and she said, you know what, let's stop being ashamed that this is a business. The world runs off of business. And so it was that little bit of like subconscious shame that I had, that I felt like, oh, I'm making money because I'm helping people get healthy and help them with their supplements. I pay my hairdresser to cut my hair. We pay our dog people. We pay, basically for any other service that we offer, that gets offered, we pay for that. And we don't even think a second thought about it. So why should I be ashamed that we sell supplements? Like that's what we do. And we help people with their health.
So when you're leading with the business or even sharing the products, this is something I personally had to overcome. And it was my wording. I was killing my own sales. I was giving the people the reason not to order. If they were looking for, so it'd be kind of like this. I would highly recommend the Triplex. Yeah, and they wouldn't even say a word. And I say, yeah, I know it's really expensive. And like I would apologize about the price of the Triplex. I would apologize about the price of the Triplex that changed our life, right? But I'd still apologize. It's like this, I don't know. It was like, what's the word? A mentality,
scarcity.
Yeah, like a scarcity mentality.
Oh, and assuming that they think it's expensive.
Maybe they don't think it's expensive.
I didn't think it was expensive.
I was telling them it was expensive, and I was wondering, well, why isn't anybody ordering? And well, probably then I just started to see, probably because you're telling them it's too expensive. So that was something I had to overcome. And also when I was sharing even about the business, I would apologize because we were a network marketing company. Well, we're a network marketing company, but I'm not really a network marketer. I don't really sell, I share, all those things, these words we use. And then now, in light of leading with the business, you're going to have to get over the fact that the Triplex is $100, and you're going to have to get over the fact that this is a network marketing company. So we have this, I think sometimes we have this idea, and it goes back to fear. We're afraid of what someone will think if they know this is a multi-level marketing company, or they know it's a network marketing company. And regardless of what you think about that, if you are in Plexus and you are working the business, you are a network marketer. Like, by definition, that's just the way it is. I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's just the way this is. So don't.
He's network marketing for Johnny's Bike Shop.
Yeah.
I'm network marketing for Nike right now.
Yeah, we need to get rid of that. I'm not much of a Nike fan anymore.
However, we're all marketers.
You're right. So, so in light of leading with the business, you're going to have to learn to be confident and quit apologizing. Now, when I talk to somebody, what do? We're leaders in a network marketing company. Like, I don't even mention Plexus. I don't even mention a health and wellness or supplements. We're leaders in a network marketing company. Oh, okay. I've heard of those. And that doesn't bother me one bit anymore. So, because I've come to, not because of what they think, but because I've come to grips with what we do and who we are and how much it costs. See, I had to fix me. I can't fix everybody I'm going to approach. I can't fix everybody on Facebook. I can't fix my family and friends. What I had to do is just come to terms and come to grips with myself, who we are, what we do, and why we do it. And that's enough for me. That gives me confidence to share with anybody. And whatever they say, no matter how negative or whatever, it doesn't affect who we are, what we do, and why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, there hasn't really been that many negative people in the last 5 years. There's been a couple, but outside of that, there hasn't really been any negativity. There's been no death threats. There's been no physical harm. There's been nothing. The only thing it has done is it's got me away from a few negative people that I just don't spend very much time with anymore, which is a bonus. So anyway, that's that. As far as that's something as far as leading with the business, it's not really a business problem. A lot of times it's our own personal problem that we have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to fix us, and then we can approach people with more confidence.
Yeah. Oh man, there was something I was going to say based off of something you said.
Oh boy.
I don't remember what it was. Shoot. I should have written it down. Sometimes when people are talking, I have to write things down so I don't forget. Well, and let me see. There's some people talking about. Oh, I know what it was. All of you are leaders. So you can say, I'm a leader in a network marketing company. Do you know how few people hit the rank of silver or gold in our company? You're a leader. Okay. Yeah. So you can say that. You don't have to be looking at Justin and be like, well, easy for you to say you're a diamond. Of course, people trust you. But you can have that confidence when you're silver, when you're gold, and say, hey, I'm a leader in a network marketing company.
Confidence doesn't come with rank either. There are some of the most insecure people I know are diamonds. Has nothing, you can feel it. It's like you can smell it when you're around them. Like, so confidence has nothing to do with rank. Mm-hmm. Confidence has to do with being at peace with who you are, why you do it, why you do what you do. You know, that's where confidence comes from, and that's what people will pick up on. It's not a rank. Mm-hmm. You hang out with high-ranking people in any business or industry long enough, and you'll start to think, ugh.
Or you start to think,
is this it? So it has nothing to do with a position, has zero to do with a position or rank. You can lead when you are just sign up, you can be a leader. Mm-hmm. So,
and you can be encouraged that like, oh, if that, insecure person can be a diamond, I can be a diamond.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So the other thing that I was thinking is just, we're all marketing. Mm-hmm. Oh, stumbling over my words. That's my struggle. I feel like I do that too. But the more you talk, the better you're going to become at it. So if you feel like you're talking to someone, they're like, well, what do you guys do? And you're like, I work for a health and wellness company. What do you do? It's okay if you feel, you're probably feeling more insecure than you actually are.
Yeah.
Verbalizing it. And I've had multiple times where I've just felt like I totally stuck the shoe in my mouth or whatever, but that's part of learning. And if you're introverted like me, even more work to learn the skill set of like just talking and not being so like afraid or overthinking things. So the more you can put yourself in that position, if you go on vacation, that's an excellent time. Get out of your bubble. Sometimes when you're like in your own little small circle, small town thing, you go outside of where you live and you say, oh, I'm in network marketing. People are like, oh my word, that's awesome. You know, get around successful business people and they don't think it's weird. They're like, oh my word, that's so fun. What do you do? What do you sell? And that's not weird to them. So
yeah, if you're getting negativity from your broke brother-in-law, just talk about something else and find someone else to talk to Plexus about. So yeah, and like Megan said, get outside your bubble, get outside of your Facebook feed, and there's like a whole world outside of your Facebook feed. It's awesome. It's like really awesome. And it's not negative, and most of them have never even heard of Plexus. Yeah. It's really incredible.
Okay, so a couple of things that I have written down is, I don't know what I said, make yourself. That does not make sense to me. Whatever I was thinking, make yourself. Okay, anyways, pain points. Make sure that when you're talking to people that you're listening, because you will find a lot of people that you can reach out to because you're paying attention to their pain points. They offhandedly mention something, they're like, oh my word, scarcity mindset, or oh my word, they have financial problems, or they're complaining on Facebook because they just lost their job or whatever. So pay attention to those little clues, okay? Because that's definitely an opportunity for you to be like, hey, I know you had told me that your business right now has been really affected by COVID. Like, would you be game for popping on tonight? My husband and I are going to chat about the business that we run, and maybe it would be another option or a great, second income stream for you while you're in this limbo time period. Right. I actually have someone, like this morning, I wasn't able to send her a message, but I'm going to reach out to her and just tell her, because we've been chit-chatting back and forth. She loves the samples I sent her. She wants to try it, but she's like, financially, I can't. Like, our business is tanking. So I'm going to reach out to her about the business. And I think is to spend time in your thinking space. I don't know where your thinking space is. Maybe it's when you hop on a bike and go on an hour bike ride like Justin just did, plus a run, and that's your thinking space. Maybe for you, it's like me when I'm doing dishes or in the shower or when I'm on a walk. That's my thinking space. I don't have anyone typically talking to me. They leave me alone. But that's a lot of times when I get either creative ideas or I think of people who could benefit from the business. And so if you are focused and like, you just like sit back in your chair and just give yourself space to think and be quiet, God might bring some people across your mind, and you might be like, oh no, not that person. Don't be afraid to jot them down on your list. Make a list of dream team or people that you want on your team based on certain qualifications, okay? And also don't neglect to pray and just ask God to direct people to you that need this business, and to put people on your mind and put you on people's mind about the business. So just kind of keeping that who question on the front of your brain. Because if you want to win in this business, you need some business builders. You need some people with some great character, some willingness to rise up in excellence. And they don't even have to be business minded, although that helps. Or if they have previous network marketing experience, that doesn't hurt either, right? And I would just challenge you, once you get that little list, reach out sooner than later. Don't wait. If you wait, someone else will sign them up for a different business, or it takes time a lot of times. So from the time you reach out to when they're actually ready to say yes and get started, you will be on their scanner for a while. Some people might say yes right away, but reach out sooner than later. That way they can start watching what you're posting, and you can start being more just intentional about even like leading with the business on Facebook. Like how much of your posts, like if I went back and scrolled your feed for 2 weeks, would I know that you work a business? Would you have any business information on there whatsoever? Remember Jessica Heffley saying, people come to her, I don't know why my business isn't growing. She's like, I just went and scrolled your page for the last 10 days and you said nothing about the business that you work, or you have no posts about Plexus, or XYZ. But think about who your avatar is. Who are you trying to attract to your business? If you are just wanting people that are sick and you're just posting like green product information, that's who you're going to get signed up, right? Same thing goes. So for leading with the business, you don't have to overthink it. Post a diamond documentary every Tuesday and Thursday. It doesn't have to be like super complex, and you can just say at the top why you resonate with it. You can even, like, in capital letters, nurse friends, our friends in the medical field, check this out, and then post it. Okay. And then also scripts. I know some of you like really value the scripts. So if you do not have the My Messaging Handbook printed out, go print it out, because there are specific scripts in there with how to lead with the business. And I can snag those really quick if you guys want me to pop them in the comments. I actually have them saved to my computer. But they're very simplistic, and I feel like genuine. I think it's always important when you're reaching out about the business to either, if you can voice message it, or just message in a way that's genuine to you. And specifically, if you're scared to message them, tell them and be like, oh my word, I have totally, been, scared to reach out to you because of XYZ, but I wanted to talk to you. Oh. Okay. We're getting a backsplash put on our kitchen today. So I'm going to send a couple of these over so you guys can take a peek at these. But sometimes it's just a matter of designating, like, you know what, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to reach out specifically about this business. And you just make yourself do it. Guess what's going to happen? Because you're committed to the action, you're going to get some people that are like, actually, I'm kind of intrigued by that. Okay, so I'm putting some in here. Hopefully, we talked about this today on the Power Hour. And you can be inviting to the event tonight. And sometimes you might just have to say, I have no idea if this would interest you. Or you can just say, hey, this may or may not be for you, or you may know of someone that this could benefit, or that might be interested in learning more about it. So there's always a way to present it where you can even say, this might be for someone that you know. Okay. I've been teaching or reaching out to many people from the business perspective. They all say no, but I see it as sowing seeds. One day they might decide they're ready. Yep. Exactly. I do struggle with the identity of leader. If you aren't super smooth, you probably seem more real. Exactly. That's the benefit, is like, if you're not super polished, then you give the people courage that they can do it too. How do you share the business easily when you're a lower ranking person like a silver? I haven't had large business success, and because I'm working hard. Oh, and I will, because I'm working hard, but not yet. I think you share the business. I mean, people don't know how much you make yet. I mean, people don't know. I mean, even thinking of why do you think that silver isn't something to be proud of? Do you know how many people would love to make what a silver ambassador makes as a extra income stream? A lot of people would be like, oh, I would love to make an extra $100 a month, or hey, a $500 to $1,000 a month, that sounds fabulous. So I think we shouldn't discount the day of small things, that assuming that the only people that would actually be interested in this as a business are people that would want to be diamond. So even being cognizant of our mindset in light of that. Well, I'm only a silver. There's no such thing as only a silver, right? Because that's where everyone starts. I was a silver. Justin was a silver. Sally was a silver before she was a gold, right? And so it's that willingness to let people know what you're doing and how, like, the potential for them. But yeah, Amy, if you look in the examples that I just posted in the chat thread, see if any of those resonate with you, because you're just letting people know what's available and why they might, be interested in looking at it. Amy said it's easier to reach out about the products because I've had more success personally with the products than the business. Yeah. So I think it goes back to, as we continue then we find more success, and success breeds success. So as you're consistent with the products and you're helping people have good results in their products, you're helping people get a couple of people signed up and you're helping people go silver, that's the basic crux of this business. And so if you can help people get a +1, you can help people help 3 others, then you're well on your way to developing a super silver team, a gold team, and working your way up. And some of the people that go silver are going to end up catching the vision and being like, oh, okay, what's next? And they'll go super silver, and then they'll go gold. And so it is, and it's one of those things where, yeah, we're looking for people who want the opportunity.
Another thing is that make a list of, and some of you are new, so maybe it's not a big, long, extensive list, but make a list of what the business has done for you. If you're a silver, then you've at least got one $100 one-time bonus, rank up bonus, right? You know, what did that help do? Or maybe you're beyond silver or whatever, and it's helped pay for your products. Well, that's a testimony right there. Sometimes when we go back through and we look at, we really make a list and write down what Plexus has helped us with, maybe on the financial side or on the business side. There's a lot more there to share than we realize. And it doesn't always have to be financial. Money doesn't really move everybody. Maybe on the business side of this, personal growth has been one of the biggest blessings for you, and you've grown. Maybe you've been able to overcome speaking in public. Maybe you've been able to overcome whatever. Well, that's a business testimony right there, in my opinion. So make a list of, write down all the benefits of working the business so far. And you might be surprised you never really know what post is going to reach out to what person. And so just make a list of those things. Another thing is, I wrote down why here. Why? The question is, why are you sharing the business? And you don't have to answer it here, but you need to ask yourself that question. Why are you sharing the business with other people? Why are you wanting to share the business with other people? It's a really important question, because you're going to have to revisit that on occasion. When the days seem long, or no one's answering, or there's a drought, or someone says something negative, or finds something weird on the internet and sends you a link. I mean, you're going to have to go back, that happens, right? So then you're going to have to go back to something solid, and it's going to have to be, why are you sharing the business? I think that's a really important question to ask yourself. I can't answer it for you. That's something you're going to have to answer for yourself, but it's a very important question, because that why will keep you moving forward. So I think that's an important thing to ask yourself.
Christina said, this week someone asked me about making $1,000 per month because of a business post I made.
No problem. When can I call you? When can we get on the phone? When can we get together for a cup of coffee so I can show you our compensation plan and how easy it is to get to the rank of gold? I mean, if you think about it, the average pay and you have to, another thing is, you have to start looking at the compensation plan, because someone says, I want to make $1,000 a month. I automatically think gold. Okay, you need to get to gold. The average pay for a gold ambassador is just under $1,000 a month. So then now I start talking to him. Okay, you need about 20, 30 people, whatever it is. Break it down. This is how many people your organization, this is how big your organization will need to be to get to $1,000 a month.
Yeah, and also in light of that, some people look at that like average income rank up sheet, and they think it's a guaranteed income.
No,
that's an average of every gold in the company.
Right.
So that means that's averaging the person that's 1 point away from senior gold, and someone that has 100 pay points, someone that has 3,000 PV, and someone that has 100 PV.
Yeah, right. So it's an average. So anyways, you can get an idea.
Right. Okay, let's transition. Actually, one thing, Sally had a question about any specific recommendations for finding new potentials beyond the Facebook realm in light of COVID. I've been joining some Facebook groups of interest to gain new friends.
Sure.
I think it's something that we always have to be doing, is thinking, how can I connect with people? How can I meet new people?
Here's something I would recommend about the groups. I wouldn't, like, for me personally, there's interests that I have. I like triathlons. I like family, finances. So faith, there's some things, there's some areas, there's some groups that I'm a part of that are a natural fit for me. And I'll be in those groups for years to come. I just signed a dream teamer last month from a group I joined 2.5 years ago. So, but the reason I'm still in the group is because it's something that I actually enjoy. So I would make sure you're joining groups. Like, I'm not going to go to a dancing group. Sally's a dancer. I'm not a dancer. So for me to go to it's not going to take long before I'm out, right? So if you're going to do some groups and start to get to know people, just, make sure it's in an area that you have interest in, or something that excites you. Because like I said, part of those groups, like I said, I just signed a dream teamer last month from a group I joined 2.5 years ago. And
even the 10X conference,
yeah,
he's signing people now that he, with a conference that we attended a year and a half ago. So it does take time to build rapport, build relationships. People see you showing up on Facebook every day. Also, I would caution against joining too many Facebook groups, because the groups that you are in, you have to show up every day in or every week, multiple times a week, so that you have a presence there and so that you can add value. You can't really peddle plexus in those groups, but you can form relationships there. So just as an FYI, you have to work the groups in order for them to work for you in terms of expanding your network. Pretty
well, anywhere I go, I'm making connections. I'm not selling anything. A lot of times, no matter where I go, I'm always trying to connect with people. Not even for the sake of plexus. I like people, and so I'm always connecting with people, and those connections later on may or may not benefit my plexus business, but I just find people interesting. They're fun to hang out. Some are fun to hang out with. A lot of them are fun to watch. So people excite me, and so I'm always making connections no matter where I go.
And it's this perspective of, you're not a hunter trying to get the next person signed, get the desperation portion out of it, and just connect with people for the sake of connecting, because you love people, you want to add value to them, you want to connect them to things, things that they can be helped with. And so maybe I'm not going to get my friend signed up, but I can recommend someone or I can say, hey, you need a doula? Oh my word, I know this one girl. Or hey, you need a painter? Oh, our friend Pat, you should meet Pat. So you're even acting as a connector to help meet other people's needs. And it's like that thing, what goes around comes around, or what you sow you'll reap. There's just kind of the universal, what is that, law of reciprocity or whatever. It's not like you do it to gain something necessarily, but you're doing it to be a good person because you're adding value to them. You're maybe expending some energy to help someone that's coming to your town learn about the cool things that are to do in your town, or whatever it is. Connecting and looking to add value and help people, and that ends up benefiting you. I mean, if nothing else, you're benefited from the fact that that you helped someone, even if it's not actually, beneficially financially to you. Okay, let's switch really quick. Let's transition to Leaders Retreat. So who has questions about Leaders Retreat? If you have questions, throw them in the chat, or you can unmute really fast if you have specific questions. Just as an FYI, you earning Leaders Retreat is possible. You need to earn it early though, and you need to not wait a couple of months to actually dig in and do it. So it's sometimes people are like, okay, what's the strategy? Tell me the things. And it's there's not really strategy. You have to work your business. If you are working your business and you are ranking up and you're helping people get started and you're helping people go silver, you are going to earn Leaders Retreat. Okay. And so it's I just told someone recently, someone said, oh my word, I feel like or I've had a couple people say, it's overwhelming. There's, they got added to too many groups or whatever. I only add people to one group, by the way, when I help them get started. But also, just an FYI, anything that we have created as a resource, whether it's the Learning Center Tribe, or it's our team page, or it's maybe a chat thread that you're involved in, that is a resource. It is not gospel. It is not something that you feel like you have to. It should not be burdensome to you. You can go build a business with yourself and your website link. Okay, just as an FYI, all those, all the systems and, Facebook, social media marketing, whatever aside, we're just sharing like what's worked for us, or helping there to be resources to plug people into. But like, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Okay, so you can go take your website and go out into the world and talk to people about Plexus, help them get signed up, and you can go diamond by doing that. Okay, but one thing I will just say really quickly, there are certain things that you are doing, right, that you may have to train people on. And so helping people understand like what you're doing, that's just sharing your system, right? And so for us, an easy way to do that is like in a chat thread or on the Momentum Makers group. We have our little checklist that we go through. We are offering power hours. We're offering the little Zooms each night, 3 days a week, to plug people in there. But it should be as a help to you. And if it's not a help, don't feel guilty. Go, utilize something else, right? But I just wanted to throw that out there. I will also say, to get to Leaders Retreat, each month you must have, and you can write this down if you want, 200 to 499 PV. If you just want to get in the door, this is what you need. 3 new level 1s, 3 new level 2s, and develop 1 level 1 silver. That's 1,000 points total. Now, if you want to get the shopping spree, each month you need a minimum of 200 to 499 PV, 10 new level 1s, 10 new level 2s, and you need to develop 3 level 1 silvers. Okay, so there's like kind of a pick your pace option, but basically you have to have results in your business to work to earn Leaders Retreat. So you have to get results, and behind the results, that's where the big pile of activity and action and the things that aren't visible to other people. Maybe you see someone like, oh my word, they developed silver. Oh my word, they just added 5 level 1s. Oh my word. Well, there's a whole backstory to that, right? They're doing the actions. They're doing the things that are going to get them results, right? So let's see. I've got to figure out how to develop silvers. Can you put this in the chat? Okay, that's an awesome question. That's an awesome revelation to realize about yourself. So how do we develop silvers? Oh, the minimum? Yeah. To get the minimum, you need to have.
You're not allowed to do the minimum. Nobody's allowed to do it. Sorry.
200, actually, I wonder if this is a photo. 200 to 499 PV, 3 new level 1s, 3 new level 2s, and get 1 silver. Develop 1 silver. And this level 1 silver. Okay, it does have to be a level 1. That will give you 1,000 points.
Here's one thing I will do. I will say, though, in light of Leaders Retreat, there's a limited space. So a lot of people are going to be gunning for this, and they're going to gun for it fast. It's a 4-month-long contest, which seems very long, but it's not going to take that long for it to fill up, I don't believe. So I don't know exactly. I've heard rumor how many seats there are available. I don't know what that number is exactly, but if you want to go to Leaders Retreat, and you should want to go, it's actually the best. I think it's the best event Plexus puts on. I like Leaders Retreat better than the Hawaii trip.
That's crazy.
As far as business, just the energy is different. It's exciting. You're there with a lot of people who earned it, and they're just excited to be there. Some are diamonds, some are silvers and golds, and it's just a different energy about it. I'm not saying the Hawaii trip's bad. I'm just saying Leaders Retreat is a lot of fun. So You want to earn it quick.
I just put it in the chat. Hopefully that helps. Okay, in order to develop silvers, what I would do is go listen to Brooke and Emily. They have a How to Develop Silvers video and just go listen to a couple of YouTube videos on how to develop silvers. This is my very quick synopsis of how to develop silvers. To develop silvers, it takes a relationship. And gone are the days, this is just my perspective, if you've been around in Plexus for any length of time, gone are the days where you can just help people make a post on Facebook and you get 8 silvers in a month. Okay, it's going to take a little bit of extra effort, and this is just me talking. Okay, there's 2 things. Okay, 1, you can develop silvers. 2, you can sign diamonds. Okay, it's a lot easier if you just recruit the right people, right? So when I say that, I say when you have people that join for the business, they're business minded, they're successful, they kind of get this deal, they get the spiel, right? There's kind of 2 different routes. Okay, so in some sense, maybe you're not posting or saying what you need to be saying on social media to attract business builders. So there's one thing. And then the second thing is, out of 20 people you recruit, you should be getting at least 10% of the people to silver. Okay, so out of 20 people that you sign, you should have at least 2 people that you develop to silver. And I would say if that's not your ratio, then it's probably a gap in something you're saying or not saying. And so I'm sharing this because I feel like I have just recently learned the skill set, or I'm practicing the skill set, okay? Part of it was based in a little bit of a scarcity of I don't have time to develop people. Like they need to just kind of see what the deal is and go talk to people and get people signed up, okay? But what I'm realizing is if I slow down enough to help people get off to the races a little bit, like if they're local, I invite them over and we go over the things. I literally sit with them and help them make a post. I literally help them make a list, and then I show them what to say to reach out. Okay, so this is a system. Make a post, make a list, message, invite. Make a post, make a list, message, invite. This is the crux of this business for how we are successful, how you guys are successful, right? Because y'all are signing people, you're ranked up, but it's that duplication in helping your people do those things. So, but the question is, how do I get people to do that if they're not joining for the business? So we have to influence them to take some action. Okay, so this is how I do it. I sign people over the phone. Hey, Vanessa. Oh, I'm super excited. Like, okay, we got you all signed up. You're all set up here. You know, your subscription's going to process in a month. Keep that on because it's giving you free perks. If we need to change it, edit, do anything like that, we can. You just keep me posted. Let me know when your products come. I am super excited for you. If I sent you what to say, would you make a quick little Facebook post and tag me in it? What's your thoughts? And most people say, sure. Okay, so if you're not on the phone, 1, on the phone with them, 2, asking them to make a post, they probably won't. Okay, you probably are the only positive voice in their ear in their first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? And so the quicker you can capitalize on helping them make a post, helping them make a list, messaging, inviting, you're going to be more apt to get them to silver. Okay, now there's going to be people that you do this with and they don't go silver. That doesn't necessarily mean you're bad at developing silvers. It just means that you're learning to get the better skill set and you're practicing. Okay, so you're going to practice this with everyone that you sign up. Okay, if they go make a post, then the next thing is that I do, I help them work the post. Oh, you just had someone like it. Let's reach out to them. And this is what you say. Hey, thanks so much for liking my post. Have you ever tried Plexus before? Okay, it's super simple, but you have to send them what to say because maybe you're unconsciously competent, your person may not be. So they legit are not necessarily not wanting to do the things, they just don't know what to do. It's not organic to them and they don't think along those lines like, oh, I had 5 people like it. That's cool. But you have 30 people that like yours. I'm like, well, of course, I have more people on my team, right? But helping them see, oh, this is what I need to be doing, okay? And then after you help them work the post, some people, you'll be able to just get in three-way messages with some people that have commented like, oh my word, I'll totally do that with you. Okay, now what you're having them say when they make the post is, hey, I'm super excited. I'm getting ready to start some all-natural supplements that my friend Vanessa, or that my friend Charity helped me start. It's helped her with XYZ health issues. and you're going to type this up for them. And if you know what their pain points are, you're also going to put in their pain points. I'm excited because I need to lose weight. I need to drop the baby weight, and I'm looking forward to ditching the migraines. Curious who wants to try this with me. Okay, that's the basic skeleton first post that you're going to help and ask all of your people to make. So if you're not consistently asking all of your new ambassadors to do this, or if you haven't swung back around to all your wholesale people and said, hey, tell me what wins you're seeing in your health since you've started Plexus. If you're not doing that and like creating those conversations, then you're missing out on a whole potential that could be happening for your business. Okay, so you're asking them their wins, and then you say, oh my word, I bet you have some people in your network that can totally benefit from this, just like you have. If I sent you what to say, would you be game for making a little Facebook post tonight? So if you put an urgency on that, okay, so yes, so you have to ask them. And it's not weird. It's only weird if you make it weird. And if you're excited, like, they're not probably going to say no, okay? Most people will say, sure, I'll make a post, right? So, okay, so after you help them make a post and you help them work that post, some people you'll be able to get to silver based on that, and you get into three-way messages with them, okay? They don't know what to say to their people, typically, okay? So you're going to be asking, hey, thanks, or your friend is going to say, oh my word, I'm excited for you, and you're going to tell them what to say, okay? So you make a three-way message, and this is what you're going to say. Hey, thanks for commenting on my post. I just saw that you have some health goals too. What else is going on in your health besides the migraines? Okay, so maybe they commented on the post. Okay, so you're going to teach your friend what to say in the three-way message, and you're going to be in there, but they're not necessarily saying, hey, this is my upline so-and-so, okay? But you're just going to chime in and be like, oh my word, I'm so sorry you've been dealing with the migraines. Do you have any like particular bathroom issues or seasonal allergies, or are you on any meds? You're just going to basically start the conversation. You're going to ask more questions. And then based on the things that they tell you, like if they say they want weight loss, you have to dig deeper. That's not enough, okay, to know that they just want weight loss. You need to find out if they have gut health issues, if they have inflammation, if they have, if they're on any meds, maybe they're on thyroid meds or whatever. You want to be knowing those things. And then once they talk to you about those things, then you can say, oh my word, I really believe that Plexus could help you. Do you mind if I send over a couple of product recommendations? And then you're going to screenshot 1 or 2 welcome packs. And I usually start on the big welcome pack. And I'm like, hey, here's option 1. Best bang for your buck. It's going to give you the most results the fastest. And it's what I start people on. That's like the top, the biggest, most popular welcome pack right now. What are your thoughts? Or hey, does this sound like something you'd like to try? Sometimes I'll give them option 1 and option 2, which is like the $199 version and then the $99 version. If you can get on the phone right away, then you can talk through these 2 options, okay? So that's even better. But see the process of that, see how much I'm invested in helping that person get a person started. So that works. The next thing that I help them do is make a list of like 5, 10, 15 people. And I literally say, hey, do you think that you could take a piece of paper tonight and just jot down a list of 5 to 10 names that you feel like could benefit from Plexus? And then I say, and they're like, okay, sure. And I say, okay, as soon as you do that tonight, send it over to me. Okay, and they'll send it. If they don't send it, I follow up and say, hey, where's your list? Did you make a list? And then usually I'll recommend that that I host a little Facebook event for them. 20 minutes, super short, super simple. But if they can get like 5 to 10 yeses of invites that they send out to those are fabulous, okay? So I help them make a post, make a list, and then I help them invite to the event, and then we get in 3-way messages right after the event. So that, in a nutshell, is how I'm developing silvers. That is how we are developing silvers, okay? You have anything to add to that?
It takes a lot of time. So, I mean, if you think you're just going to assign people and they're going to go silver, it just doesn't work that way. It does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of conversations. It takes Zooms, messages. It just takes time to develop people, to develop silvers. And one thing I'll mention really fast before we go is that as far as the Leaders Retreat goes, if you have not printed this off yet, you should have got an email, and it's the Leaders Retreat contest. So if not, you could find it in the virtual office somewhere or on the Scoop. But print this off because it has all the information you need on what it takes, what the prizes are, and what the what it takes to earn the prizes or to earn the retreat at all. And one thing I'll say is the way that this year's Leaders Retreat is set up, it's been done really, really well. How you succeed in Plexus is exactly how you're going to succeed on Leaders Retreat. So it's going to take personal enrollment. It's going to take developing silvers and beyond. And it's going to take rank advancement. Those are the three biggest ways, pretty well. Also your PV, but those are the three biggest ways to win at Leaders Retreat. And that's exactly how you win in the Plexus business. So it's set up really, really well. They've done a great job. Plus the incentives that we have in the month of July coincide with the Leaders Retreat contest. So it's like they're setting us up to win. So this is a really exciting Leaders Retreat. I'm really excited. Also, I'm going to make mention about the PV on Leaders Retreat. If you have over 1,000 PV, you can get the most amount of credits for the Leaders Retreat contest for having 1,000 PV. And I know that sounds like a lot, but here's a couple different ways of looking at it. If you really are wanting to go to Leaders Retreat, you should max out your PV. A couple different things. One is sign customers. The second thing is, one thing that we do during contest time is we stock up for our kids products. We stock up for stuff throughout the year, and we stock up for samples. A lot of what we order will end up being samples at some point throughout the year.
And those are write-offs.
So I write those off on our taxes. Those are the samples that we use. So we always max out our personal volume when it comes to a contest, because those are good, easy credits. And again, we can use them for samples, or we can use them to stock up for our personal needs throughout the year.
And that's how we buy Slim. It makes it less than It makes it less than $50 a bag.
Right. There's a way to earn Slim and pay about 40 some. I have to redo the math.
$48.
It's less than 50. It's in the 40s. Instead of paying $80 a bag, you can actually pay 40 some dollars a bag if you order a retailer's pack. And yeah, it's a lot more money at the time, but you actually save not quite half off per bag, and you get the same amount of PV. So
you make commission off it too.
So yeah, so we'll order large amounts of Slim during a contest time, just for that.
So, okay, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for being on. I will just say really quickly, one thing that I gleaned from one of Emily and Brooke's webinars in their Momentum group in May was they just said developing silvers is kind of like teaching your kids to read. You will have, like Emily said, out of my 4 kids, 2 of my kids learned to read by kind of osmosis. Like they went to school and they learned the skill and they read. She's like, and they're great readers. She's like, my younger 2, she's like, I have had to bend over backwards to help them learn. And it's like been a multi-month year process. And so I just want to kind of put that out there as when you're developing people, you're going to have some people that just naturally get it and go do it, and kind of outside of your guidance. Like you may give them a couple pointers, you might help them do a couple things, and then they're just off to the races. Other people you may have to handhold, and that's okay. You're honing your skill set and you're helping them do the things. And sometimes once you get those people, boom, they're like, okay, I get it. I'm reading now. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. It's like, sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with you. Other times it's like, yeah, I got this person the silver. I earned that silver bonus for helping my person go silver. One
thing I've learned over the last 5 years is that the majority of people that I sign up and just leave alone, just thinking they're going to go do what they're going to do, the majority of those people quit. At the same time, one thing I've learned is that the majority of people that I actually spend time with and walk with and try to explain the comp plan, try to explain silver, the majority of those people actually go silver and beyond.
And they don't leave.
So a lot of it, so you can't, once we sign someone up, it's not over, it's just starting. So I think we have to understand, I think sometimes we think, oh, I got them signed up. Well, that's good. But now the work starts. So and that's developing people, and it does take work, but it's actually worth it. It's a lot of fun. and it's fun to help people grow and succeed. It's really rewarding.
All right, guys, I have a coaching call and I'm like 10 minutes late.
Okay, we
So I
gotta
gotta go.
Adios.
See you guys.